Back? Are we back? We're back? Yeah, that was a actual my internet effed. Holy shit, bro. Oh my god, I hate this so much. Ah, refresh. Okay, let's continue. That was a hard F, but whatever.
Seen what was there. I began to perceive a whole network.
It is funny how UB shows up and my internet immediately goes boop.
What kept apartheid.
But it wasn't my internet because I could still see all of you guys. It didn't. It was actually the server went down. Anyway.
Going in South Africa and its relationship to rugby. If you're playing a match in South Africa, after a game, suddenly the whole South African cabinet shows up for drinks with the team. You know that you're in a country where a sport has got a hell of a lot different relationship to affairs than it does in Australia, for example. I became more aware of how apartheid was conducted in the country. You slowly got angrier and angrier all through that tour. And it all came to pass, really, at the last match we played. A referee gave a try, and most of us had seen a knock-on, particularly the black crowd who were right on the other side of the fence. It happened right in front of them, and they erupted and booed. But the police just came from everywhere, and they started to throw bottles in at the people underneath in this concrete stand.
What?
And the black people were trying to flood away from the area, and they couldn't move. There were people killed. It was awful. Police attacked people for no real reason. I had never seen anything like that ever before. Suddenly the whole team said, we don't want to stay in this country for one day longer. Each one of us had a personal connection with people who weren't white, who had been at the bad end of apartheid. We produced this pamphlet summarising.
So just for those that like the context, there is the Australian Wallabies came to South Africa, and they were a whole bunch of black spectators, and they were cheering, and then the police attacked them, and then it looks like the Australian team left.
The 1971 tour shouldn't take place. We were talking to the rugby fraternity as a rugby group, and it's people who had actually seen what had happened there.
Anthony Abrams had also gone to South Africa.
Just checking it. Yeah, it still works.
Anthony Abrams faces an almost impossible task. He's trying to wake up Australian rugby. Rupert Rosenblum on the left is the perfect example of Abrams' dilemma. Both men played for Australia on a tour of South Africa.
When you play against South Africa, you are standing up in the sporting sphere and saying, we support the idea of racism in sport.
Well,
We're
I don't
at least
agree,
accepting this.
You're presuming a lot of things that I'm supposed to agree with you on, which I'm not agreeing with you at all on. To me, if some bloke in Kenya or some man even in England considers that my playing against the Springboks makes me condone racism, the man's a nut. It's just not on. I don't feel that way. You know I don't feel that way. In fact, you know quite well I have a strong feeling for the coloured ladies. It's not my fault that we have this.
Okay, that's the best. His defense of I'm not racist, I really find black women attractive. Holy shit, bro. Oh my god.
Overseas image. I'm not the government. I can't do anything about the government.
Now, but if you are politically aware and if you agree with me, why aren't you making
Because
this
in my list of priorities, it's too low. It's a simple matter of priorities. You have to put them somewhere in life.
Yeah, he said his dick isn't racist.
To be down the bottom.
When you're talking about solidarity and
notice how it's unions that are the ones that are calling for these boycotts as well and getting involved historically.
It's not something that just stops at the borders of your own country. If you're interested in human dignity, there's a question of international commitment.
The trade union movement here in Australia got together and said, look, we have to really take a stand. And so we got support from workers at the airport. Any aircraft that carried any of them wouldn't get off the ground.
Hi, Yubi.
That the trains that carried them wouldn't leave the stations. That major hotels, if they took the Springboks, well, then there'd be no service. So there was a whole number of bans put in place. And as a consequence, when they came here,
Union's
they
still
really...
doing it? Yes, I saw that. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. The UAW has called, said that like the DNC needs to have a Palestinian voice on the stage. Okay, basically, they've condemned that, which is very cool. I mean, it's a tiny little thing, but yeah, it's still, in my opinion, pretty cool.
Behave like fugitives.
The national airline refused to transport us around. So we had to charter light aircraft.
Wow.
And it was quite a frightening experience. First of all, you're putting all your baggage in the wings and in the propellers, and then you get onto this light aircraft with all the big, massive forwards. And please believe me, they weigh a lot. And I thought, no, hang on, this little thing can't take off with these people. So it was quite a hair-raising experience.
Bro, he said rugby players are too swole for the plane to take off.
When the Springboks came out, for some reason, they were installed in a motel that was 2 doors away from our big black commune.
So the Aboriginal activists' house ended up being a headquarters for us, and they were very, very prominent in the demonstration outside.
We were approached by a guy who had played rugby for Australia in South Africa, and in South Africa had acquired these 3 genuine Springbok football jumpers. He said, when I was in South Africa, the mere proposition that any black person would ever wear this revered and haloed symbol of Afrikanerdom, it would make the broader Bund have a heart attack. So 3 of us put these football guernseys on, and all we did was stand out the front of the vigil. It was worth it just to see the looks on these big South African rugby players' faces. They were furious, and if there hadn't been a lot of police there, they probably would have killed us.
The other thing that happened was that the Aboriginal activists challenged us to be more involved in Aboriginal issues.
Coming in a second.
One of the remarkable public relations coups that successive Australian governments have managed to maintain is to have created the image of Australia as not really being a racist country, when in actual fact it's one of the most racist societies in the Western world.
We had the White Australia policy, which meant there were to be no non-white immigrants into Australia. We had a very, very patronising attitude and a very racist attitude towards Aboriginal people. Basically, the policy in the 50s and the 60s was assimilation. Aborigines had to become totally...
Yeah.
...like us, or else they had to die out.
We are the only country on earth with a legal system which denies any title in land whatever to the original inhabitants. The Rhodesians do, the South Africans do, we don't.
The European they conquered the Aborigine, and well, therefore I think that the land's ours.
Smash apartheid! Smash apartheid!
So a dialogue began to happen between the political activists and the Australian anti-racist people. We said to them, well, how is it that you people can get so het up without at the same time getting as angry about what's going on here, where instead of you being able to point the finger at the Afrikaners, Have you considered that in this country, you people might be part of the problem rather than part of the solution, which is what you see yourselves as now?
You're addressing your own racism if it's your own backyard. And I think that's, you know, your own racism is what you're like yourself, and I was still coming to terms with that.
From a moral point of view, I think Australians are now looking at race more keenly than they've ever done before. I think to this extent the demonstrations have made a good point.
I don't understand the message either.
We're much more sensitive about our Aboriginal treatment now. I hope we'll be more sensitive about our immigration policy now. I think in this sense there's a good legacy.
It prompted a fundamental rethink in themselves about, well, what is our position, you know? They were forced to confront.
Oh my God, I'm going to lose my mind. Are we back? Okay. I'm so annoyed. Okay. It didn't F on my OBS at all.
By the time the Springboks actually arrived in Sydney, I was very well known. So my problem was how to get to the game without being arrested before I got there.
I think they were searching you at the gate. And so you could get in, but if you were carrying a bag, they'd want to look in your bag. If it was full of flares, you'd lose your flares. So my mum and several other respectable-looking little old ladies smuggled the flares in.
I think fucking parrot. Oh my God, they used like old women to smuggle flares into a rugby game. Oh my God. Yeah.
Rugby Union and its South Africa in white shorts on the attack against New South Wales. Watch this brilliant backline move as number 5, Jan Ellis, goes in for a try.
What the fuck? Oh my God. Hold on. There you go.
Despite smoke bombs and jeers from the sidelines, the South Africans hold their concentration and keep the pressure on.
That's where you're from?
Meanwhile, the 900 police on duty do the same with the demonstrators. Despite a barrage of bottles and cans, the game continues. And the squadron...
That sign said, "Racists go home, we have enough here." Holy shit.
Balloons floated across the field.
Shortly after half-time, my little sister and another friend and I ran onto the ground. And Verity, my little sister, said, "What do I do now?" And I said, "Grab the ball." So she grabbed the ball and kicked it. And several of the papers the next day said it was the best kick of the season.
That's so funny. Best kick of the season.
New South Wales have no answer to the visitors, but in the off-field action, the police lines hold strong. Only one protester manages to break through to the playing area, and there's practically no hold-up to the game. Final scores, South Africa 25, New South Wales 3. Police 150, demonstrators 1.
Police 150, demonstrators 1. God.
Suffering Lord, Kumbaya. Oh Lord, Kumbaya. Oh Lord, Kumbaya.
What's your opinion of the demonstrators as a whole?
You really want to know? Hairy goons. Hairy goons, mate.
Gutter snipes.
Well, I think it's a shocking demonstration by a lot of radical louts.
Wow.
You don't believe in their
No, I do not.
I don't think they give a bugger about anyone but themselves. And for that reason, I seriously doubt that we can do any good, because I just don't think we have the power to penetrate them.
The interesting thing about the Australian media was that as they berated us and attacked us for being rat bags and spoilt brats, or, you know, criminals, in fact, they also then felt that they had to write about the issue so that they couldn't be seen as being racist. And actually, quite often, they wrote good articles about what was happening in South Africa.
Very common, by the way. Like, I mean, not so much in American media and with respect to Israel, but generally, like, this is like just a well-known thing that, like, on the politics of other countries, generally other countries will, like, the reporting, like, has less of a... It's more cutting in some instances. But this is an interesting... I mean, like, it's the same thing we're seeing. You know, like, writing about protesters in this way. It's a bit different, though, because, like, US media is really bad about reporting about what's happening in Palestine. So, you know. Anyway.
Protesters followed the Springboks throughout their tour, much to the displeasure of the Australian government.
We are a responsible government. We have to maintain law and order, and we intend to maintain law and order.
Abrogation of civil liberties, the army came in. I mean, it was real state of emergency stuff.
Could you be fighting a losing battle by being here?
Oh, I don't think so. I think we've already won the battle. I think the sports tour of the South African Springboks stopped a long time ago. It's now just a travelling police circus. The last thing it is a rugby tour.
Wow.
'71 was the last time we played against Australia. Watching before your very eyes the disintegration of your sports culture internationally was a terribly confusing thing. What was the price that we had to pay? Is it fair to try and force us into a political system that we don't want and that we believe will be disastrous by punishing our sports participants and punishing...
Yes, dude. My god. It is interesting that they got these. Not as confusing as your popcorn tie. It is so interesting that they got these, like, old NP government officials from the apartheid government to commentate. I've said this so many times, but I love it when documentaries, you know, show you the fucking fascist, like, directly the opinion from the mouth of fascists.
Our spectators. At what price? That was the question.
Though the increased isolation was a blow to South African sports fanatics, what they really cared about was New Zealand. And in 1973, the Springboks were going to face their greatest rival, the New Zealand All Blacks.
If you want to test your own ability, you test it against New Zealand when it comes to rugby. It's their Bible, it's their economy, it's everything to them.
We were the two countries that lead the world in rugby football. We're way out ahead of all the rest. And so it was a fight for the rugby crown.
In New Zealand, the first protests against South African racism were in 1921, not 1960 or 76 or 80.
New Zealand has always been, like, way better about this sort of stuff. I mean, still terrible, but yeah. Definitely not with this in particular, but from my understanding is that New Zealand has always been way better with relations with natives. I mean, the bar is in hell, so it doesn't really mean too much.
85 and 1921, and they were over rugby.
The Springboks came and they were shocked to have to play with the Maoris.
Still doing the haka.
The South Africans were disgusted by that. They couldn't understand how members of their own race...
and you don't have to spam it, Kaz. Okay? But they just elected a super fascist government. Oh god, okay, fuck. We'll never... Shit. Okay.
We're cheering on Maori All Blacks to defeat members of their own race.
Our people have always been respected for their prowess on the field. We were good. We were good at that game, and we still are. And if you took the Māoris away, New Zealand would be about bottom of the ladder. So it's the Māori who actually give New Zealand rugby the power and dominance that it has in the world at the moment.
My old man's an old black, he wears a silver fur.
My father was the first person from his tribal area to become an All Black. So he was a legend. He played against the South African rugby team when they toured here in 1937. 2 years later, the team was going to South Africa, and suddenly, because he was brown, he was forbidden to try out for the All Blacks, even though he had been a member of that team for the 3 preceding years. So my involvement in the South African issue was a direct consequence of the stories that my dad had told us.
Sid Jackson's Maori organization joined forces with the anti-apartheid movement to keep the South African team out of New Zealand.
Looking overseas, seeing what had happened in Britain in 69-70, in Australia in 71, we started saying, if the 73 Springboks come, we are going to close the country down.
They thought they were protesting against apartheid in South Africa. How that involved the New Zealand Rugby Union is impossible for me to work out.
Oh my god, dude, what a fucking idiot. No politic here.
Before Christmas, the Prime Minister, Norman Kirk, received a report.
Hold on, I think that now the set... Oh my god, what the fuck?
From the police that essentially said, if the tour went ahead, it was going to be chaotic mayhem from one end of the country to the other. And we could point to the protests, the demonstrations in Australia, and say, see, that's what we're talking about.
With Kirk, there'd just been this moment where one man's moral integrity and principles had shown some...
Okay. I think we're going to pause it here
leadership.
For today, because Hassan is probably going to be live in a second. But yeah, just a lot of... this to me is interesting, obviously, because I don't know anything, like, about... Once again, as I said before, I don't know about the external affairs of, like, how other countries really... like, in detail reacted to South African apartheid, especially with regards to sport and everything. Anyway, we'll continue tomorrow. But let's just stop here. So we stopped at, like, an hour in. Okay, perfect. Alright. The learning time was great, yeah. I am starving, so I'm quickly going to go get some food. But let's just have, wait until the song goes live and we can have a look. And then we'll do a bit of gaming. We'll see. Alright. Let's go to... There we go. No, the stream is not over. Don't worry. I'm just gonna pause there because the song will be live in a second. But anyway, let's just have a look on what's going on. You know what? We'll check out what Graham knows up to. The room presentation is halfway done. That's amazing. Okay, thanks, dude. We'll see you about that on Monday. Okay. I'll be back in a second. Okay.
This is so weird. It's so bizarre. jacket. The guy's got an insane jacket on. It looks so good. Oh my God! All right, we found Josie. Yeah, I'm live right now. I don't know if you want to be on camera or not.
It's fine.
Okay. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
This is Josie. Used to stream on Twitch, maybe making a comeback one day, we'll see.
Yeah, Josie Rose C,
That's right.
as you know.
Shout out.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Fun things. Here you go.
Okay, so PSTV in the lanyard.
Yep.
How far do these get us? Or here, I'll mute real quick.
What the fuck? There's no sound. Oh,
All right,
there we
we're
go.
back, sorry.
Yeah, so have fun.
Thank you.
Go and report the good news. You do the good
It's
work.
muted? Okay.
That's why we're here. And so, yeah, experience it. Do it. Have
Gremlo
fun.
is at the DNC, but not. He's joining the protests and things like that.
I will
Kaz.
get back to you. I mean, tomorrow it's over, so like, I'll just message you.
Just message me.
Yeah, for
Sounds
sure.
good.
All right.
Awesome.
Have
Bye,
a good
everyone.
one. Bye-bye. All right, let's find us a ride.
Hold on, I'm just
chat.
eating.
Let's see if we can find us a ride out of here. Because
Isn't it day? It is. Is it day? Isn't it day 3 of the DNC, or is it day 4? So Hassan hasn't changed his title. Oh, it's the final day. Oh, is it the last day? Okay. All right. All right.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Take cash?
Yeah. Cash, credit card, and where you want to go?
For sure. United Center.
United Center, okay?
Yeah.
Sure.
Perfect.
The mama will speak. Oh God.
Stop.
Today is supposed to be the biggest protest. Okay. Oh, he changed his title? Good. Oh, you know what? I'll show you quickly. I'll quickly show you this. This is so funny. I was watching this morning. And then I stopped watching the rest. Hold on. Hold on. It is on Majority Report. Oh my god. Tim Pool had another moment where he doesn't read a fucking article before talking about it. And that's just so funny. Look at this shit, bro.
Here's Tim Pool. You'll recall that in the wake of
Fane on the broadcast? Okay, we're going to be watching it all.
Nixon interview.
I'm just eating right now.
The Musk Trump interview. That Trump said, like, I like you because you're gonna go in and you know, people go on strike, you just come in and you fire them all. You tell them you fire them. And that's what I like about you, Musk. Now, it just so happens that as anemic as it can be at times, we do have a National Labor Relations Act. And it is illegal to threaten retaliation for people going on strike. And one of those ways, which is, you know, really explicitly retaliation,
Bro,
is...
it's so funny how, like, insanely stupid Trump is in some degrees. Like, he's a pretty intelligent person in general, okay? Like, there's a reason why he's managed to hold on to power and things like that, okay? But just, like going out of your way to, like, deliberately... yeah, he can't help himself. And he was so rude, but then, oh my god, this is so funny. This is just classic Tim Pool. He does this all the time. You can find hundreds of examples of Tim Pool not reading an article and then trying to catch up on and like change his rhetoric on the fly.
Is firing somebody. And that threat does not have to be explicitly delivered to an individual. I don't have to say, like, you're on strike, buddy. I'm going to fire you if you do it. It is a blanket sense of, like, if you go on strike, I want my workers to know this, you're going to get fired. Now or in the future. That's illegal. And so when they did this, or when they posted this interview or did it live or whatever it was, the UAW the next day decided to sue. And big-brained Tim Pool has an issue with that because he's...
Yet when I read and tell everyone else what I've read, I'm called a nerd. Yubi, Tim Pool isn't reading. Why are you inserting yourself in this convo? You actually read things. Tim Pool opens an article, doesn't read it, and then changes his rhetoric on the fly, okay? Why are you...
For the working man.
Auto Workers Union has filed complaints against Donald Trump and Elon Musk, alleging the two advocated for firing striking workers.
I'm saying I can't win despite reading. When has any... I call you a nerd, but it's like... I literally have a degree in physics. I'm for humor, I throw, like... Bro, I have a glass house too, you know? Like... God, okay.
So what?
Yeah, look at this.
The former president and the owner of X held a conversation on Musk's platform this week.
Like I'll reiterate here, and maybe he'll get to it in this article. So what? That's illegal. It is.
I'm being dramatic. My joke wasn't taken well. I love you.
The Labor Relations Act says you cannot do that. Go ahead.
But check this out. Let's read. They say the United Auto Workers Union has filed complaints against Donald Trump and Elon Musk, alleging the two advocated for firing striking workers. So what? The former president and the owner of X held a conversation on Musk's platform, this we know. At one point, Trump and Musk were talking about workers who go on strike for better wages. Trump said, if workers go on strike and you say that's okay, you're all gone, so everyone is gone. Under federal law, a company cannot fire its employees if they are on strike, but you don't got to pay them. So there you go.
No, you do. He's so dumb. He didn't read the article at all, bro.
The unfair labor practices charged were filed with the National...
Just in case you have the intelligence of Tim Pool, I'll explain to you. What he just said is a complete non sequitur. You cannot
giving that advice to.
You cannot fire somebody who goes on strike legally. You cannot threaten to fire somebody who goes on strike. That's true. When people go on strike, you don't have to pay them. But also, if you park somewhere illegally, you'll get a ticket. It has nothing to do with what you're talking about. I just wanted to make that clear. Go back a little bit. Incidentally,
you want to know what's so funny? UB, since you're in here, or any other Hasanabi mods, Hassan specifically said, please don't upload like my IRL stuff from the DNC. And I posted it like, I told one of the channels, like Hassan specifically said, don't upload like the IRL stuff from the DNC. And someone commented on that comment and said, well, you know, I watch Hassan all the time and he didn't say that, so you're lying. Okay, dude. Holy shit. Anyway. Literally someone was like, you're lying. And my username is Littlebear36. Holy, like, with the account that I commented. Why didn't Hassan want this uploaded? Because, he wanted them to be uploaded on his channel because they're like, generally with IRL stuff, he doesn't like channels uploading it. Because, yeah, it just, like, he wants his own edit out there from this specific thing. And when he's doing interviews with Rokana and everything like that, I can understand that. Like, everything else, the desktop streams, everything else is fine. He just, like, doesn't want that specifically. And I think it's also because there are some really big channels that get, like, way more views than his channel. And it's mainly for his editors and his own channel. Like, that's their income. You know? And so if one channel posts way before, and, like, gets all the views, then that's directly coming out of his editor's pocket, especially for things like that, you know? But all of the other stuff he's fine with. Yeah.
I want to tell you what happened here. What happened in this moment is that Tim Pool never read this article before he read it on air. He did not know that it was illegal to fire someone when they go on strike. And when he read that, he realized, oh God, this entire angle I took is completely unsubstantiated and I should have read this article. And so he says, but you don't have to pay them, which has nothing to do with anything. So just go back a little bit. I want you to watch how Tim catches himself here. These are fun moments.
on strike for better wages. Trump said, if workers go on strike and you say that's okay, you're all gone, so everyone is gone. Under federal law, a company cannot fire its employees if they are on strike, but you don't got to pay them. So there you go.
There you go.
The unfair labor practices charged were filed with the National Labor Relations Board. The UAW said Tuesday, just hours after the discussion, more than 1 million people tuned into the session. Quote,
I'll be back in a second,
Trump
chat.
is a scab, this is what we mean. When we say Trump stands against everything our union stands for, this is what we mean, said UAW President Sean Fain in a news release. Musk himself has been outspoken against unions, criticizing them for creating inequality among employees. Tesla,
keep reading,
which is
so
also
that he
owned
doesn't
by
have to
Musk, is the
address
only
his
auto
fundamental
manufacturer in the
point
U.S.
that
whose
is
workers are not
completely wrong.
unionized. Bravo, Tesla. Shout
Go
out to
back,
the workers manufactured
go
among
back
employees.
a little bit. We need to hear what he says about Tesla here.
Himself has been outspoken against unions, criticizing them for creating inequality among employees. Tesla, which is also owned by Musk, is the only auto manufacturer in the U.S. whose workers are not unionized. Bravo, Tesla. Shout out to the workers. While multiple
The
efforts
idea,
to unionize
shout out
employees
to the workers, yeah, like that's the workers' decision. It's and the bosses have been trying to do it. No, Tesla very regularly kills employees. Sometimes those are independent contractors, and it is not a it's not a shout out to the workers scenario that they're not getting water breaks or whatever.
But it's not. Incidentally, he may not know this, but the workers at all these other car plants, they decided they wanted a union. That's why
Also
the union
workers.
is there. Yes.
Yes. But shout out to the special Tesla workers, the ones that remain who weren't fired for attempting to unionize. So this is the guy that's pro-worker. He's claiming, right, shout out to the workers who were still around after, if they didn't get fired by Elon Musk because they tried to make the decision to unionize. How is that a shout out to the workers? It's to the shout out to the people who remained.
Just unbelievable.
After Elon Musk. You know what? I'm going to make a prediction that Elon Musk is on Timcast in the next 2 or 3 months.
Very possibly.
Bravo, Tesla. Shout out to the workers. While multiple efforts to unionize employees at the company have been made, none have been successful. However, the company has been sued for implementing company policies that prevent workers from unionizing.
He hadn't read this story.
In filing complaint with Musk and Trump, UAW leadership is escalating its criticism of both men. President Fain has publicly criticized both in recent appearances, including at a Democratic rally attended by Kamala Harris and Tim Walz last week. Let me tell you my thoughts. We have this
please
press release here, which we'll read from UAW directly. Filing labor charges against Donald Trump and Elon Musk for attempting to.
Yeah, we can skip a little bit. He does go into why he doesn't think why he thinks unions aren't good, and it's because he worked at he was underpaid at one job, and then and so like why would you want to pay, if you're an underpaid grocery store worker, why would you want to pay a union fee? And that's partly because they could collectively bargain. And the other was like they focus on stupid stuff. But he gets back into it here, and we can just watch a little bit more.
All right, that's my personal. So I'm not a fan of how these unions operate. That being said, I actually don't care. Trump saying to fire them if they're on strike, I think you don't need to do that.
Until it's so dumb, yeah.
Well, because when he started the video and he started to read the thing, he didn't know it was against the law.
Yeah.
And so he now has to backtrack, and you see the way that he did it. Well, you don't have to pay them. What difference does it make? Actually, I don't think you need to say that.
They don't even want a union anyway because unions don't work, but they shouldn't be stopped from it.
I mean, there's two things that this video shows. One is that Tim Pool is actually an anti-worker. But the other is that the dude doesn't even freaking read this stuff that he starts on. He has no idea what he's talking
Absolutely
about.
not.
No idea what he's talking about. And the only thing that he is skilled at is the ability to sort of step back off of where he just knows exactly what the keywords are for the video that he's going to put up for his audience. He knows where he will cross the line with his audience.
I'm just amazed that so many people watch Tim Pool. It does blow my mind.
He did the same thing when he was I
don't think I've ever genuinely met a Tim Pool stan. Not even in the sense of obviously I wouldn't meet one in South Africa, but even in just internet circles, I've never ever seen anybody being a Tim Pool stan. You know what I mean?
almost like dabbling with supporting RFK, and then all of a sudden, like, Joe Rogan backed off, and so he backed off. They're just, this is when people say grifters, this is what they mean. And he knows, I mean, this is the way that he makes his money, and it's gross. He's an idiot, and it's also funny to watch him turn himself into a pretzel because he didn't know some of the basic facts of what he's talking.
Well, he doesn't know facts about politics. This is the problem when his show is just like focused on reacting to social media, and his algorithm is geared towards like, where are black people fighting in this part of the country, or what is this homeless encampment? Let's do a deep dive into that. I mean,
anyway, regardless, I just think it's so funny. Okay. Obviously I showed this at the beginning of the broadcast, but there are different people here. Has everyone seen Mike Lindell debate the child? Because I want to show it again. It is so good. UB, have you seen it? Okay, I'm showing it again. Fuck, it's so good, bro. Everything about it. Which one? This one, dude. Oh my god. But this is a different angle because you'll notice he's actually 2v1ing. This guy's also coming.
We go to paper ballots incoming.
Ask him what proof he has that it was fair. Why? How do you know it's fair?
Which election are you talking about? There was one. No. There was one down in Georgia. 3 Democrats.
I'm from Georgia.
Okay. There's 3 Democrats in Georgia in the summer of 22. She's a good friend of mine. She got 0 votes in her own precinct.
Who is it?
So Brenda, I'm not telling you her last name on your stuff.
I see.
But you see. But no,
you know why he shaved his mustache? So he could enter the DNC in disguise. Like... It's so dumb, dude.
Let me tell you.
No proof.
The proof. They looked into it in Georgia. Okay. Crooked Brad Rasmussen, your Republican Secretary of State, he looked into it and said, oh, it was a computer error. They gave her back her vote. She went from 3rd to 1st. She's a friend of mine. Another gal, Democrat, 4 counties
yeah, he
over.
ruined his disguise immediately because all he could do is speak about, like, voting fraud and Dominion voting machines, which, like, he's been going on about for, like, 4 years now. Like, who else is talking about voting machines? I did see Hassan pissing on stream. I did.
In Georgia, she got 4,600
But where's the proof?
but she wasn't on the ballot.
You want me to take your word for it, right?
No.
And you want to know what's even more insane? This boy was talking to Midas Touch. He was talking to Midas Touch. Like, just before this. This kid was talking to a guy from Midas Touch. Oh my god, dude.
She's in the paper.
So what's her last name? She's an elected official.
Okay, let me tell you. In Georgia, I will tell you, an Obama-appointed judge last fall, this case has been going on 3.5 years. Alex Halderman, this is in your state, so you should be up on that. Alex Halderman, he's a Democrat, and he's also a cyber guy, and he looked into the machine, and he said there's problems. That judge last fall ruled in your state. She said, we're going to look into this. We're bringing it to court.
Why is there a 12-year-old at the DNC? I know, dude. I'm, like, also asking this. Like... But I love it. I'm so happy the 12-year-old's there, dude.
And the experts say there's problems. And
his parents are probably, like, a staff or something, and he's coming along, or I don't know.
He said, and if you question it, you're not a conspiracy theorist. So I got to take off my tinfoil hat. Now, guess that. In her courtroom on January 9th in Georgia. Okay. Now, maybe you didn't see this in the news. Maybe you're not up on things. Alex Halderman.
I am. I'm up on your bankruptcy too,
Alex Halderman with a ballpoint.
He said, oh, I am. I'm up on your bankruptcy too, bro. Oh, my God.
Pen hacked into the machine in front of the judge and switched the whole election in front of her. Now, that case is still in Georgia. She has not ruled on it yet. That's in your state. You want to know more in your state?
So
they just found 257,000 votes. This happened last week. A judge ruled in Georgia that are missing from the 2020 election. This just came out. You're behind.
So your sources trust me, bro? That's your source?
No.
Holy shit, that is... No, he's 12 years old, yeah. Like, he's an actual child.
The source, it's in your papers in Georgia. You need to read your news.
You haven't given me any last
name. You need to read your news.
And then it's the Midas Touch guy, I think. Not this. Where was that link again? Hold on. It's the Midas Touch guy. Look.
are missing from the 2020 election.
So
This just came out. You're behind. You should.
So your source is trust me, bro? That's your source?
Also, we're looking for Mike Lindell.
Oh, he's here?
Yeah.
Let's get him.
He's here he shaved his mustache.
This is Midas touch, bro. Midas touch is insane.
Looks wild.
Okay, I can see.
We are live on Midas. Can you introduce yourself to the stream? Because they love you.
Yeah, thank you.
What's up? Mike Lindell. Where is he? Let's go.
Midas touch are like insane, like pro-democrat liberal, like it's like a News Corp but like a small fringe one, and they like do the most insane like Occupy Democrat style sort of posting. Okay, old man is live. Okay, sick. And I personally love it, dude. Anyway, let's have a look at what Hassan's up to, and then we'll do some gaming while we watch Hassan. Yeah, like Bush era stuff. Yeah. Yo, I'm the first. Oh, I wasn't. Never mind. I'm the first viewer. Yay! Last day of DNC AOC Chairman Fain Ilhan Omar uncommitted protester interviews. Can we watch something during the intro? Sure. Hold on.
I have an actual question. Did you ever feel ready to be a dad? Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like one day like I woke up and I was like, I have to be a dad. But I definitely like I crossed the threshold where I was like, yeah, I think like I could like having a kid would be like meaningful to my life. And I think it's kind of like a false dilemma in a way, because you don't need to know.
Oh, he's playing the other characters now.
Shit right away. As you scale as the baby scales, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's like taking care of a newborn feels hard when you're doing it, is actually like the easiest age of child to
Oh no, I want to play Slay the Spire.
Like they pretty much just sleep. And then like when they eat, I mean, I guess I'm letting my gender do the talking, but when they eat is like someone else kind of sorted it out for you, right? Like you don't need to make your own breast milk. You just kind of go into the freezer and then warm it up. So I think that there's this idea, and I understand it, there's this idea that you have to have like an encyclopedic knowledge of like how to take care of a child before you have a child, but no, you kind of like figure it out day to day. There's very little stuff that you really need to, I mean, I hate to say it, but like the mantra you can repeat to yourself if you feel like you're not ready is essentially that like, look at some of the dumb motherfuckers around you that have like 7 kids. You might be like, what's different? Because I'm worried about being like a good parent. Yeah, but like, the kids are alive. Like, you're probably gonna be fine. Their
My
kids are the
31-month
worst.
sub anniversary is the brain rot
I
terminal
don't know.
now.
Who's making up somebody in their head to get mad at now, Chad? That's you. I'm not worried about my kid. I'm worried about me.
I'm 41
well, then
months.
maybe you're not ready. What if I end up being that dumb motherfucker? Well, you'll probably be fine. Most people, they just like, you know, they figure it out. Is it stressful? Yeah, I mean, you spend like a lot of time doing the dishes. For
I'm
sure.
close to 42 months. You got the
On
new
top
badge
of all
now.
the parenting stuff, you're doing the dishes like crazy. And I know this is not anyone's like favorite bit, so like I apologize. But like hearing the way that people without kids talk about travel is so annoying. You'll say something like,
What the fuck?
"Oh yeah,
They're
sorry,
buying
I'm late.
Tinder
It took me
ads?
a while to like get my suitcase on the baggage
Oh my
carousel."
God.
And then some like 21-year-old motherfucker who's backpacking through Southeast Asia will be like, "That's why I only take carry-on." Okay, good luck, motherfucker. 7 changes of clothes for 3 people, plus nighttime diapers, plus a few books, a couple toys. I know people are like, I don't understand why people pack so much luggage. That's because you're 22. You just need 4 graphic t-shirts and like a pair of khaki shorts and you're good to go. Like that's you operating at your prime, okay? 7 pairs of clothing is crazy? Not really. It's fucking 35 degrees Celsius.
Yeah,
over
no,
there,
I
man.
saw it. We'll have a look at more of it
Don't
tomorrow.
even get started with me, man. You ever see that show where people go through like airport security? I didn't realize like 90% of people that are traveling out there have a suitcase full of like old sausages and stuff. Of course I do. I'm from Poland. Okay. I didn't know. Hey, by the way, where's my whirlwinds? Anyway, like you're not allowed to say it, but having a kid is like not actually as hard as you think it is. The thing is, you're always like on call. That's the thing that's most annoying.
Okay, r/parents
Like if you're
is
tired,
gonna go
but
after
your kid has a
him.
problem, you can't be like, I'm just gonna wake up early.
r/teachers has already owned him in the marketplace of ideas, and now r/parents is gonna come after him for saying that.
And deal with it tomorrow. But like the actual like day-to-day duties, I mean, as long as you just get used to it over time. They need constant attention. They don't need constant attention. They need a lot.
Oh, no intro? Okay.
Constant is kind of ridiculous.
Okay, let's have a look. Okay, we're gonna be playing. I also want to play some Slay the Spire. We'll do Slay the Spire and we'll do SAP as well.
And you might be wondering, Hassan, what are you doing? That's because I am now a part of Fox News. Fox News 32 Chicago. Brought to you by Coca-Cola. Just kidding, Chicago's a Pepsi city. Brought to you by Pepsi. When you're famished, you should drink motor oil instead. I'm Hassan Piker. This is Dawson. Our broadcast coming to you live. And I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic one. We don't really have an intro today. I apologize for that. That's because we started off with the IRL portion of the broadcast early on. Now, the reason why we're starting off with the IRL portion of the broadcast is because I'm going to go outside and I'm going to go find the uncommitted delegation, the uncommitted delegates that have spent the night outside of the United Center here at the DNC.
That's sick. Okay, I'm excited to see this.
Protesting in the aftermath of the snub that they got from the Democratic Party. They made some very reasonable demands. We're going to be talking about all of that. This is the part of the broadcast where I tell you a little bit about my personal news, though, and a lot has happened since.
Can we get a fit check real quick?
Oh, you want to do a fit check? Yes. I'm wearing my Japanese fit. I got the diesel tank. I don't know what these pants are, but they're a Japanese brand. I got the Doc Martens. Okay. Boom. Of course, you got to do it with the white socks. You already know how it is. And also on top of that, at the top of this fit, I have my Chairman Mao jacket. Wait, what? We'll bring. Wait, hold on. We'll bring Harry? Oh. Is Jayapal... Wait, what? Okay, DNC's texting me some stuff. But anyway, coming now. Okay. What was I talking about? Oh, personal news. So last night we ended the broadcast. There was a brief scuffle between me and a pro-Palestinian demonstrator outside. I want to make a quick note on that. In the immediate aftermath, while I was in the car, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I probably should not have even reacted to him. People might be wondering what happened. And I'll talk about it more extensively when I'm on the desktop side so we can like look at the footage and stuff. But those guys, they are doing the damn thing, okay? It doesn't matter that he said I was a sellout or whatever. We should not be making fun of this person. We should not be criticizing this person. It ultimately doesn't matter because he's out there.
On Bitch
okay?
Island?
He's out there.
Ask your mom.
He's putting his body on the line. He's jeopardizing his future. He might, get criminal punishments specifically to protest against a horrific crime, the crime of genocide. So I think yeah, sure, he was wrong to yell at me. I think misdirecting his anger at me is silly and like I said, childish. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. I should have never reacted to him, and I don't think people should be making fun of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got in
here's
the
a
Uber.
clip if you guys
We
wanna
went to the
see.
Chapo TrueAnon live show last night. It was a Chapo TrueAnon podcast taping that was live. I came in the intermission, and I participated in the pod a little bit, giving them the insider access on being a creator for Kamala, things like that. A lot of fun. And then I, of course, went home to pass the fuck out because I'm tired, because I'm 33 and I have a headache all the time and I can't keep up with the youngsters. March, on the other hand, betrayed me. That's right. March and I were supposed to go to, what was it, Au Cheval?
Yeah.
Au Cheval, which is the best burger in the Illinois state, in the city of Chicago, and perhaps in the fucking world. Now, you guys know me. I'm not invested in going out and doing stuff when I'm locked in. I'm working, right? This was the one exception where I told this fucking demon that is operating this goddamn camera that I would go with him to eat this bird, okay?
He wasn't gonna make it.
I said I would go with him to eat this bird. And he literally lied to me. He was like, oh, you're not going to make it, whatever. And I thought...
You weren't going to make it.
Let's look at the text messages.
He wasn't going to make
Okay.
it.
I'm going to go to the text.
I'm going to do some Slay the Spire, and then I'm going to do some sap while we watch, okay?
I'm going to see.
I went
Hold
without
on.
you because I wasn't going to miss the burger. I got there at 11. I asked if my friend could come if he makes it in
I
10
said,
minutes.
bro...
Okay, hold on.
Though, I want to see Megan Thee Stallion. Was she there?
No.
Exactly.
But I got the burger.
Because I didn't go to the party, so Megan was not going. Where are you? Are you meeting fans or what? Okay, RSVP us to this Meg Thee Stallion party, or you will get back to your hotel room and find me hung in the living room. Bro, I am dying. I'm killing you, then myself. You took my bags, right? Anyway, that's it. That's enough. I don't know if there's anything compromising in those text messages afterwards. So,
Who said what? Who's to say?
okay. So then this fucking piece of shit sends me a photo, bro. Sends me a photo of the bird. Sends me a goddamn photo because he is a selfish rat. Okay.
Wow.
You weren't gonna make it.
And he said, "Best burg of my." Might have been the best burgie I've had in my life, not gonna lie. I said I would go. And then he tries to fucking talk about all this. And then he has the audacity to be like, yo, RSVP me for the Funny or Die party. How did you get in?
I pulled some strings.
You charlatan.
Yeah, it's not
You
showing up. Hold on.
charlatan. Okay? No, it's, I'm mad. I'm fucking mad
He wanted
because...
me to not have the burger because he couldn't have the burger. He
No,
wanted to do
no,
collective
no. That's
punishment
not it.
on
That's not
his-
collective punishment. It's because it's called, staying true to staying loyal to your comrades. Nothing you would know about. Okay? Anyway, so yeah, I missed my Berg opportunity, which is devastating. But other than that, woke up this morning, literally spent the entire morning handling calls, like left and right, nonstop, back and forth, because I have a lot of interviews lined up. and it's going to be an insane day today. We're going to obviously start off on a, we're fucking around right now, but we're going to do some serious coverage today, some serious on-the-ground coverage. We're going to venture off, find where the uncommitted delegates are, and we're going to go talk to them about what they're doing and what the DNC has done so far, what this represents. Yeah, hold on. Let me throw this out, and then we'll go. Let's roll. I also did work out this morning, so I feel good. You think we can come out through here?
Okay.
I don't know.
So
barrel our way through as usual.
I'm behind their news coverage. What channel is this? Oh, it's Fox.
Lol.
Oh, it's Fox News. Nice. Can we get out through here? You think? Is that they are?
I don't want to do Ascension. Maybe we can do Ascension. We're fine.
Bernie interview will not be happening at the DNC chat. Sorry, he is unfortunately way too busy to do such a thing. Okay, they are outside gate 2 and 3. Which way is that? We came in through 6. I think 2 and 3 is like right there, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. You want to just wrap around on the outside?
I think we should just get out through here and then go there. But hold on, I want to see if we can like confirm that. Like, let's ask someone here that maybe works here so that we can
have a look.
We can get some kind of help. I can't tell who actually is like a person who works here.
Everyone's wearing suits.
I know, everyone's wearing suits. I can't tell. Hey, can I ask you a question?
Somebody responded and sabotage Fox News.
Do you know where gate 2 and 3 is?
Yes.
Is it? Can we get out through here and then go? Is that quick?
Get out to the main concourse.
Yeah, it's fine.
Keep going around and you'll be right there.
Is that so? It's easier to go out through here instead of like loop inside.
Perfect.
When you come, oh, you mean out of the building or
out of the building right here to go to gate? No. Isn't that where gate 6 is up there?
The son's accessibility is best straight, but sometimes it's the worst thing for his content. Oh yeah, 100%. But I mean, like, you know.
Right through that tunnel there, get into the main concourse and go right. Got it. So you'll circle all the way around. Gate 4 is right here, 3 is right over there, and then 2.
Oh, yeah. So isn't it easier to just like get out through here then, and then walk around outside of the facility?
I don't know if they'll let you back in.
Strength, let's go.
We'll get back.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Whoa, Crooked Media's in here. I wonder if they're here. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna knock on their door. Oh, don't film it.
Okay. I'll just film myself instead, I guess.
It's locked.
Chat. Oh, it's locked. Okay.
Never mind. I want to see the Paw Johns.
Oh. Crooked Media, bro.
All right, this is exit only. Let's do it.
Well, you know what? Pen nib is too good not to take. Sorry. Fuck the sapphire key.
We can kind of hear like. Chat. I don't know if you can hear it, but we can hear like some megaphones
okay, that's really
from
good.
afar. I think like they're able to at least like kind of come near the perimeter. No perimeter credentials past this point. What does that mean? Oh, maybe it's like going in.
Oh, we can just remove something. Sick. Get rid of a block. Confirm. There we go. We can do this. Yeah.
Hold on. I had to leave her. Oh.
Yeah, here's gate 3 and 2.
What?
Here's gate 3 and 2 right here. This was definitely the faster way.
What?
This was definitely the faster way.
Yeah, I thought so. Like that was the vibe that was the feeling I got from what we did yesterday.
Yeah, that's sick.
Okay, I see more police presence and also a significant number of media members who are out here interviewing the uncommitted delegates.
Strength doesn't go away.
What's good? What's up? I'm not gonna be here. No, I'm flying back. Yeah, unfortunately.
Early morning though.
No, I'm going. I'm literally. That's when I'm flying. God damn, that's loud. Sorry about that.
Okay, no. Keep it up, man.
It's good seeing you guys.
Okay, we'll just have to take the L here.
submitted.
Thank you for being here.
If I can
Nice
have
to meet you, man.
Yeah.
for a moment, we have
Yeah,
a
I saw you early on
very,
Monday.
very special guest. Someone who I personally was trained by precisely for a moment like this one.
Yo, give me the other mic. I want to hold it out.
Leader who is a leader among leaders. The Honorable St. Louis Congressman Cory Bush.
Let's leave again.
One thing that I always
Let's go, Cory Bush. Stream fine, chat? Do you want me to change anything?
is going to happen. History is
Want me to make Hassan bigger?
around, and we just walk into it when we're walking in our purpose. You all
Okay.
are saving lives. You're setting history. And in a lot of ways, you're changing the course of what could have and would have happened. So first of all, I just want to acknowledge you all and your sacrifice. I know it may not necessarily feel like a sacrifice. It may feel like I don't deserve to be honored. But for coming from someone who has been to and led, co-organized
Okay.
hundreds of protests over the last 10 years.
12, 14.
Many of whom
14.
Martin is right next to me with. And the boss was at.
Okay, we have to tank that,
You
unfortunately.
need to hear it. You should hear it. You deserve to hear it. Because you are giving of yourself. And you're giving of yourself
Oop.
primarily for people you don't even know. You're giving of yourself not only for what's happening now. This is about legacy. This is about people's children's children. This is about family generations. We know that generations, whole generations of
Oh yeah, that's great.
Palestinians have been wiped out. And so what we are saying, what you are saying by being here, by holding the line, is that the United States has a moral obligation to hear from the most directly impacted people who are suffering in ways that this black woman don't understand. That many people in this country don't and won't understand. Which is why we need a Palestinian American person to speak from that stage. Yeah. Because we need to hear it. When we hear it,
Never
we
taken
learn.
this
When
before.
We hear it, it allows us to open up to something that we may
Why
not
not?
have understood, or it helps those that are walking through that to feel seen and heard. Also, it's just about our humanity.
Right.
When I think about how I got into this work, I first have to acknowledge and think about my dear brother Abbas, who, thank you for your leadership in this moment. Thank you for not doing what was comfortable, but doing what was necessary. For not doing what was easy, but for doing what was right. What is right. And I think about how...
Oh, did I accidentally throw away the
Abbas is
potion?
not
Oh no.
Palestinian. I think about the times when Abbas poured out and bared his soul, talking about being a child and the bombs dropping in Lebanon.
Oh, is Gremlo there? Holy shit. Oh my god, he is.
And how he never would have thought that he would have ended up going from that child in Lebanon with the bombs dropping to then being my chief of staff in the United States Congress. But he did. And because he was honored by that
Wow.
position,
Let's go,
because
Gremlo.
he was blessed and elevated and promoted to that position, he made a decision not to fail.
Oh, I could have actually
what
gotten
was
rid of you.
handed.
Never mind. Well.
And that's what he's doing right now. When I think about this work and so many of you all who are standing here and those who want to be here but aren't able to get into the gate, and I need to
There we go.
publicly say this. For anyone who's thinking, wow, it's only a few people here.
Gate blocked.
It's only
Good.
because folks don't have the credentials to get in the gate.
Right.
So it's clear.
The people are with
Next to
us.
democracy now.
And if they can get in, they can be in.
Let's go.
But standing up as a black woman in this movement, standing up, making sure that my voice is being heard along with so many others, is because we need people to know, just like Abbas, that this is not something that our Palestinian American or Palestinians should have to walk through on their
Has Gremlin
own.
met his son before? Yes.
Because I remember a day during the Ferguson uprising, many days, that our Palestinian community, our Palestinian Arab community, as well as Palestinians that came over to the United
It'll be
States,
fine.
stood with us, locked arms with our Jewish community, with our Latinx community and so many others, our LGBTQ community and so many others. We all stood, locked arms together, standing up, crying out to save Black lives.
They have.
And the thing is, the whole burden didn't have to be on us. We were saying we're trying to be heard, and we knew that we weren't. But being locked arms with folks who weren't as directly impacted made a difference. And so we have to do the exact same thing. So for those who are out here who are not Palestinian, your place is yet still here. Your place is to make sure that you are lifting those voices of our Palestinian and Palestinian American community, our Arab community, our Muslim community, lifting it in a way that they may not, because of the burden and the oppression that they're walking through right now. We want to lift them up, and we want them to understand that as you are hurting right now, we don't know the true hurt. And so we have more space and more capacity to be here. So we're here saying not another bomb.
Not another bomb.
We're here saying we need an arms embargo.
Arms embargo.
And we're saying that we want a Palestinian American person to be on that stage tonight in front of the DNC, on that DNC stage, in front of the whole world, proclaiming that they deserve to be heard, that the United States must listen, and that they should be prioritized the same way as our Israeli folks that were up on that stage, Black folks, and anybody else. So it's up to us, you all. If we leave, if we go away, if we stop, it gives them an opportunity to say, well, it's over. So for those that are able to stay, as long as you're able to be here, I know Abbas says he's here to the last moment. Thank you. Thank you. And as a member, a current sitting member of Congress, it is my duty to be here as well, because human lives are at stake, because we don't have a permanent ceasefire right now, because over 40 million, which could be close, 40,000, close to 100,000 lives have been taken, because whole communities have been decimated, destroyed, because people are starving. So I have an obligation to be here, because my other obligation is to use my card, my voting card, to make decisions about how that the money is spent from the United States. It also, what resolution I say yes to and no to. So I'm here, you all, and I'm standing with you. I am in solidarity with you all. I am not here to lead you. I am here to be arm in arm in solidarity. So thank you, and know that your congresswoman loves you. Thank you.
We're not taking any questions. We are going to take a photo with the congressman. Congressman, if you'd like to join us right there.
Yes. Let's do this.
All right. Oh, you take the photo and then.
Yeah, and we'll get this.
Holy shit.
What's up?
And I'll get some people on, whoever you want.
Yeah. Everybody. I'll talk to whoever's here. Hey, Prem, what's good?
Okay.
Dude, this guy. Look at this guy's rings. Show the rings. This guy's just styling and profiling every fucking day. It's crazy. Here, you want to show? You want to capture it as well? Like from the front?
That's amazing.
I should have waited for this photo to use as my blast off image. I messed up, Chad. Chad, I've also blasted off, so.
1, 2, 3, free Palestine. 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 Do it again with video. Free. 1, 2, 3, free Palestine. 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 1, 2, 3, free Palestine.
Okay, so I didn't do a proper introduction of what happened here, but this is the current uncommitted movement delegate protest. We have Daniel here with the Dig, right?
Yes.
And
I'm an alternate uncommitted delegate.
Here, you wanna put this on real quick? Let me see.
It's on.
Okay, it is, but here, you're just gonna put it under your shirt. It's a magnet.
Okay.
Or I guess I could hold it. Here, give me back the magnet.
Oh my
I'll just
God.
hold it. It's fine, because we're gonna be swapping it on a lot. So
I'm the alternate uncommitted delegate, Daniel Denver from Rhode Island, host of the Dig podcast. This is June Rose, who's the uncommitted delegate from Rhode Island, and June has been out here all night alongside other members of the uncommitted delegation, demanding not only, obviously, we want a permanent, immediate ceasefire guaranteed by an arms embargo on Israel. The only way to get a ceasefire is to stop sending the fire. The way to stop having children in Gaza being killed by American bombs is to stop sending American bombs. And at the very least, we need to have a Palestinian American up there on the stage at the DNC tonight. For some reason, it's okay to have the family of an Israeli hostage speak, whose pain is very real. The suffering is very real. We don't want any we don't want any people to die or suffer. But the fact that there's somehow anyone can go on that stage, basically, except for a Palestinian, is just exemplary of profound anti-Palestinian racism.
absolutely.
Yeah, and June, comes here from an experience as a Jewish Rhode Islander who spent time in Israel as a child, and I think it's June has a lot to say about why this is deeply offensive to have a genocide carried out in the name of Jewish people. It's deeply offensive to all of us as an American to have this being carried out in our name and with our tax dollars.
You want to talk about that?
Sure.
Here, you hold it. My arms are starting to get tired.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've been out here all night.
Amazing,
I think
dude.
we're at, 18, 19 hours. Slept a couple hours on this concrete. But we're out here making demands of a party that claims to represent our values of freedom, justice, and equality. But they choose to apply those values to every single issue besides one. When it comes to Gaza, they apply a different set of values. We become the party of death and destruction. For 2/3 of my life, growing up as an Orthodox Jew, I believed that the occupation of Palestine was necessary in order to protect my safety. I believed that Palestinians in the West Bank and in Gaza needed to be kept in cages and under military occupation to keep my people, the Jewish people, safe. And then I went to Palestine. I met the people. I went to markets in Nablus, living rooms in Ramallah, coffee shops in Bethlehem. I saw the humanity on the other side of the apartheid wall. And I realized that Palestine needs our voices, because I realized that not one child anywhere in the world needs to die in order to keep me safe. I'm here as a reflection of my Jewish values, because growing up as an Orthodox Jew in Jewish day schools, I learned of the Holocaust at a very young age. And when they taught me about the Holocaust, the lesson that I learned was not that we need to be afraid of what's going to happen to the Jewish people. The lesson that I learned was that we need to stand up against bigotry and hatred and genocide no matter who the victim is. And right now it is Palestinians who need our voices as bombs rain down from the sky with our names printed down the side. It's Palestinians who need us standing up for them when they can't stand up for themselves, when they get no place at this convention, a convention that supposedly stands for diversity and representation, but only one ethnic group is left out. I've never seen a DNC where they said no Irish Americans can speak. I don't remember last DNC, they said next time we're going to leave out Italian Americans. They can't speak. We're asking for one Palestinian American. We didn't even say which one. We gave them a list and we'd be happy to give them a bigger list, whatever they need. One Palestinian American. And they said no. There will be no people from that ethnic group speaking at our convention about human rights and diversity and representation and equality. Where is the justice in that? While bombs rain down from the sky, while 16,000 Palestinian children have been killed in the name of my safety as a Jew, where is the justice in that? It's time for our party to live up to our values, which means an immediate permanent ceasefire, an arms embargo, which means not one more bomb, and a Palestinian American speaker to speak on the stage to tell the stories of pain and suffering this country desperately needs to hear.
That was brilliant. It was beautiful. Thank you. No, that's a great question. No, that's a great question. She asked, why do you think they said no to you?
Yeah. I mean, it's
still my job for me. Sorry.
Some of this is speculation, right? Because we've been making these asks for months. With the DNC, we've been in conversations and negotiations about our asks. And our biggest asks are not about a speaker. Our biggest asks are about policy change to save lives. But we also made some smaller asks. Like, can we just have a Palestinian American speaker share their story? And they said no to that. All they said was, it's a no. That's all they said. So we're left to speculate. And I can tell you from my experience that the reason that I once stood with the Israeli occupation was because I did not see the humanity of Palestinians. And I believe that the powers that be are afraid that if the American people see the Palestinians as human beings who are suffering, who need help, who are living under bombardment, who are living under famine, with entire generations wiped out, with children killed en masse, then we would be empathetic to that cause, that we would come together around this immediate permanent ceasefire and an arms embargo, that we would see change on this issue. So that perspective scares them, so they shield us from it. It's time for that shield to be lifted so that Palestine can be free.
Thank you, June, so much for your activism and for your words here. We're also going to hear from what's going on, my man.
What's up? How are you?
How are you doing?
Abbas,
You want
nice to meet you.
Abbas, you want to hold this?
Sure.
All right. Abbas, can you tell people who you are, what you're doing out here?
Yes. My name is Abbas. I am. I'm gonna hit send on that.
You're a big dude.
A little bit bigger than you.
Yeah, you're a bigger dude than me.
I was trying to be the biggest
big
guy
boys.
here. And you give me a run for my money, but
big
here we
boys.
are. My name is Abbas Alawiyi. I am an uncommitted delegate from Michigan, which means in the Democratic presidential primary, we mobilized over 101,000 voters in Michigan to vote uncommitted as a way of voting for peace and against war and for Palestinian human rights. We knew that this was important to do precisely because our country's policy right now, the policy that unfortunately the Democratic Party supports, is to continue sending weapons to the Israeli military, that the Israeli military is turning around and using to harm and kill civilians, over 40,000 civilians, over 16,000 children, babies. We know that's deeply immoral. It's also deeply illegal. It's against international law. It's against U.S. law, and it's deeply unpopular. The majority of Democratic voters want a ceasefire. The majority of Democratic voters want a stop to the unconditional flow of weapons to Netanyahu's government. And so if we are serious about stopping the bombs, if we are serious about reuniting all those held captive, Israeli and Palestinian, with their families, then we've got to stop sending bombs. It's actually pretty straightforward. That's why we're running a campaign called Not Another Bomb. That's why uncommitted delegates are here specifically asking that our party take this issue seriously. And the flood of support that's coming in from members of Congress for this issue is really important. But there was something really weird that happened yesterday. Like, our policy asks are clear: not another bomb, arms embargo now. We've been pushing those really clearly. And we had like a programmatic ask saying that we want a Palestinian American to speak from the stage. And we thought that was pretty straightforward, especially because the party platform says...
very reasonable. I mean, this is like... It's bare minimum in terms of like recognition. Listen, they had a fucking border guy. They had a border cop guy, okay, They had multiple Trump supporters, like Republicans. They had Bernie Sanders on, and then they followed Bernie Sanders up with J.B. Pritzker, which is fine, like he's all right. But then he talked about how he's a billionaire, and then they had another billionaire. They had like a corporate Democratic Party donor up there to showcase how big of a tent they have. But it does kind of feel like this tent is big, with the exception of Palestinian Americans.
But here's how I feel. I've worked in democratic politics for a while. I'm someone who myself has survived US-funded Israeli bombs. I was a kid in Lebanon in 2006. I was 15. I was certain that my own government's weapons were going to kill me. I was certain of that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wow.
Right now, I'm asking that kid inside of me, that 15-year-old, hey, what do you need? We need a ceasefire. And you know who does not support a ceasefire? Not a single, not a single Republican federal official in the country. Not Donald Trump, not any of the members of the House, not any of the senators. None of them support a ceasefire. And this is after. And so, that's where we're at baseline. And so, in the Democratic Party, we know that the majority of Democrats support a ceasefire. The majority of Democrats support a stop to the unconditional flow of weapons to Netanyahu. And so we're just saying, the majority of Democrats support this. Certainly, the overwhelming majority of Palestinian Americans support this. And in a party where we say that we value the lives of everyone equally, we should be able to hear from a Palestinian American. We'd be lucky to hear from a Palestinian American. Palestinian Americans are leaders in every kind of movement you can think of.
Of course.
And we would be lucky to hear from them. And if we don't, if they decide not to, which if you're watching at home, I urge you, tweet at the DNC, tell them we should hear from a Palestinian American speaker, tell them not another bomb, that we need an arms embargo now. But if they decide not to, then it's really their loss.
No, absolutely. Obviously the morality of it is clear if you are, not a soulless, bloodless monster. It's a genocide. It's an apartheid. Even when it's not a genocide, it's still an apartheid. And currently it's both. And beyond the morality of the situation, it also plays well for the Democratic Party's election chances. And all it takes is just a little bit of courage. And there's been a lot of courage in the Democratic Party so far in behaving like a competent party and doing certain things that I, at least in my 10 years of covering the rat race, have never seen from the Democratic Party. Swapping out Joe Biden with Kamala Harris, choosing Tim Walz over the safe choice, which would have been probably Josh Shapiro, in order to lock down Pennsylvania for the Electoral College. These are all good moves that they've made. And obviously, there needs to be a little bit of courage to say that American foreign policy that is continued in this bipartisan manner has to stop. There needs to be. What is happening over here? Okay, well, this American foreign policy needs to change in order to even continue the objectives of the American State Department. That's why there's so many State Department officials that have resigned early on in the earlier parts of October, resigning, knowing full well what was about to happen, urging the American government to create some sort of restraint, some sort of mechanism of restraint, which Joe Biden himself has enforced at different times in 2021. It's just one phone call. But not only is it such a simple ask, not only is it morally the right thing to do, it also will generate a tremendous amount of support from key constituencies in your state specifically, and in other states as well. The blue wall would be impenetrable if this decision was made. There's not a single, this is something I say all the time, there's not a single person that is a likely Democratic Party voter or in the margins that says, I will only vote for the Democratic Party if Israel continues its genocide and the Democrats follow through on it. There are people like that. There are single issue voters like that. But they live in the Deep South. They're evangelical Zionists. They're the most rabid of the individuals in this country that are actively almost single issue voters on that front, right? But they're not voting for the Democratic Party. There are, however, people, plenty of people, hundreds of thousands of people, and in very important states that say, I will not vote for the Democratic Party unless they put an end to the genocide of my people, unless they put an end to the unlimited weapons transfers, unless they restrain Israel. It doesn't make any sense to me because I've never seen a situation where it's like it's such an obvious win-win. Like I can't believe we're talking about it on these boundaries because we're talking about genocide, right? But even then, if you want to make this bloodless political calculation, it's still right there. So,
I mean, here's the situation.
It's unconscionable.
Yeah, and here's the situation.
I could have played that. Never mind.
As awful and as ungodly as the situation is right now, based on what we are what we are witnessing and what we are reading, Donald Trump has plans to make this a lot worse too. It's hard to imagine that it could get worse, but if you listen to what Donald Trump is saying, he says we should genocide faster, essentially.
Yeah.
He says we should fully annex the West Bank. He says he wants his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, to get $1 million condos on Gaza Beach and permanently displace already displaced Palestinians, put a couple more dollars in his pocket. It's messed up.
Yeah, we can lose fire breathing.
We think we have an opportunity. Vice President Harris has an opportunity to tell us proactively how she will be different than Trump on this issue. And I think that can help us rebuild that trust with those voters for whom Gaza is a top policy issue and Palestinian human rights is a top policy issue.
Yeah. And I do foresee this becoming a larger problem. I don't know if you this is another thing that you've factored in potentially, but like from the perspective of the Democratic Party's like election chances, it's not just about the uncommitted voters. It's not just about people who are like, this is my single issue, this is my family, right? My family's being slaughtered. Of course I want to put an end to that. It's with my tax dollars. But beyond that, you're also leaving on the table in a relatively close election, like the mood in there, you've been in there, the mood in there is crazy. It's ecstatic. Everybody thinks like, oh, it's over, it's done, right?
We can't sweep this issue under the rug, though.
And no, exactly. And I do get this attitude that like there are people that are obviously pro-Palestine in there, right? There are obviously people who are in favor of a ceasefire. Yeah. They represent the majority of Americans, the overwhelming majority of the Democratic Party's voter base.
That's right.
Right? But beyond that, there's this attitude where this is like, oh, you guys are the spoilers. You're like spoiling the fun that we're having in there. Two things come to mind. One, I feel that angers me, obviously, because it's ridiculous. But the other thing is, I don't think people should be this excited this early on. I don't think that leaving someone who is unstable, selfish, and has demonstrated his willingness to continue this war for his own personal desire, someone like Netanyahu, in this position to potentially move American troops into the region, as he has done so far, as the American government has done, and potentially pull the United States of America into a larger conflict, would greatly change the electoral calculus. In the minds of many Americans, 50%, more than 50% of Americans don't want to go to war.
I should play Juggernaut. Oh no. Damn, again.
At some point, we as a society have to get to the heart of the
I really like it as well. We're going to do SAP as well.
We've got to stop sending the fire. If we want the bombs to stop dropping, we've got to stop sending the bombs. It's actually very simple.
Yeah.
And our own government's policy for decades has been sustaining a very deeply illegal occupation and now an apartheid system that has resulted in the horrors we're seeing now. And so we've got to have this conversation among Democrats, among Republicans, among folks who feel like they don't identify with either party. We need a change in this policy.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time out to speak to my audience. And to me as well.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you for all your work.
Of course.
All right. What's good? Thank you. Is that good? Is there anyone else you want me to talk to? I mean, I'd love to talk to Corey Bush too.
Oh
but
no.
We can get Corey on in a second, I'm
sure.
sure.
Oh no.
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on? What's happening?
I'll get
for the benefit of ASAP.
I'm annoyed.
What's happening?
Okay.
Oh, I was gonna ask, is there anything you guys need, like food, whatever? I mean, you seem pretty solid right now, but
We'll do 15.
4 a.m.
And then get chocolate.
what's going on?
Everything and nothing.
Uncommitted from Washington?
No, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Which is the largest uncommitted delegation in the country with 11.
So, do you mind holding this? Sure. While we talk, it's a microphone.
Yep.
And then this side right here is supposed to be your
Flash
mouth. Okay,
actually
so
might work.
you're uncommitted from Minnesota.
Yep.
One of the largest, the largest
uncommitted delegation.
The largest uncommitted delegation. Tim Walz is the governor of Minnesota.
Yes.
And I'll be honest, I was shocked that they chose Tim Walz as the VP pick rather than Josh Shapiro, and I do like the Democrat Farmer Labor Party and all of the things that they did with the 1-seat majority that they had.
in
Something
the
that
Senate, We had 7 in the House, but yeah. Yep.
But it's something that I've actively covered back when it was happening.
Yeah.
And I was also very excited about this prospect.
We're handing a TikTok to everyone.
As
I
far
love
as I
that.
understand, from what I understand, Tim Walz is also
This will never be
been at
useful
odds
in this one.
with the. He has said nice things about the uncommitted movement in his own state,
okay.
which is definitely unique, especially at the time when
We will never
I felt
use
like the
this.
mainstream
Let's
media was
get
like
rid of it now.
avoiding talking about the uncommitted movement.
Yeah.
Like they were allergic to like recognizing that
played
this
that
was
before.
genuinely a problem for the Democratic Party's future in the come November. He said we have to listen to these guys. These are constituents. They have a voice. They're right. I mean, I don't know if they said they're right, but beyond that, there's been a little bit of back and forth in terms of how he has handled the situation. I know that I mean, obviously Minnesota has a large Somali population.
Yeah.
There are some fantastic politicians. The Attorney General Keith Ellison I like. Obviously Ilhan Omar I love. And I guess the question is, where do you feel Tim Walz lands on this issue? Do you think he has any sort of power to influence the outcome if he was to be more sympathetic to the Palestinian plight?
Yeah, thanks for all that. I mean, I feel that he was the best choice of the short list, the long list. I'm happy that he is the vice presidential nominee. And yeah, he said what I remember most specifically is what he said after we had nearly 50,000 vote uncommitted on Super Tuesday in Minnesota, was that we're participating in the process. We're voting and we're participating in democracy. And he said it's on us to bring them in. And he is not doing that. He has not met with us as uncommitted.
Yeah.
He is not doing anything to bring us in. Somewhat recently, I am a member of the Free Palestine Coalition. I'm a liaison through some organizing I'm doing to take on Christian Zionism, mostly. That's my personal reason. And so some members that are Palestinian Minnesotans, some members of the Free Palestine Coalition that are Palestinian Minnesotans met with him, and so the meeting was planned, and then they said we want to talk about divesting our pension funds from specifically Israeli banks and bonds, our state worker pension funds and other public worker pension funds. And then he canceled the meeting saying, I thought I was just here to hear your stories and your stories of pain and about people that have died. So that's not okay. He was not yet named the vice presidential nominee at that point, or presumptive nominee.
Yeah.
But when he says, we got to bring those people in and they're participating in the process, and he's doing nothing to do that. And it's pretty obvious, if you followed along, how the decision was made for who's going to be VP. He's really all in on being in a supportive role for the nominee, Kamala Harris, or officially becomes nominee tonight. We had the roll call already. So I think it's time for our governor and the vice presidential nominee for the Democratic Party to look at what he can do in Minnesota to show that he cares about what's happening and what's happening with hardworking state of Minnesota pension funds, workers' pension funds that are invested in Israeli banks and bonds against state statute. We have state statute that says you cannot invest in any other nation state's banks and bonds other than Canada. There's a path to this.
Fuck it, take Canada out of there too.
Right? But early in 2022, immediately, there was a divestment from Belarus and Russia with what's going on in Ukraine. This can happen with Israel as well.
Yeah.
So, call us in, meet with us, talk to us about what's possible, what he can do well. He's governor of Minnesota. This is about winning in November. We're proud of the way we do voter turnout and volunteer and get out and knock on doors. I'm one of those people that does a lot of that and gets others too, and I don't feel like I can right now.
Yeah.
And we're pretty. Minnesotans are excited. Many people are excited. People, like my own sister, is stoked. She's a teacher, and she's definitely supportive on this issue. And the thing is, it's been a breath of fresh air that our governor and the vice presidential nominee is saying things in a way that we've just been waiting for someone to frame certain things like this, like just get out of people's bedrooms, like you're talking about freedom, and just like really plain spoken kind of folksy messaging that people are really latching onto. And he's rightfully calling out Republicans and using the word weird, and that's great. Like it's cool. People because these horrible policies and ideas they have to take away people's freedom.
That's great.
some of it is truly weird.
Never mind, it's fine.
But I'll tell you what's weird, Governor Walz, Vice Presidential Nominee Walz. What is weird is to say ceasefire and keep sending the fire. That's weird. It's not a good look. You're a teacher, you know better. You taught people, students, learners in Mankato, Minnesota, the site of 38 people being hung on the same day the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. You taught them about genocide. You taught them, you know better. You know better, and it's time to step up and right that wrong of the legacy of Minnesota and the Dakota slaughter and genocide there. Stop being weird. Stop sending the fire and saying ceasefire. That is a direct contradiction, and you know better. You know that's a bad look. Got to stop the bombs, stop the money.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Actually, I do have one other question. What's going on, my man? How you doing?
Delegate, Missouri, Michael Berg.
Nice to meet you. The thing I wanted to ask you about is, I feel like I'm Muslim. I'm Turkish. I'm a white guy, but my name is Hassan, right? I can't really escape that in America. Sometimes it comes up, usually at the TSA line, right? Having said that, I always have, I guess, a special place for American politicians who are not from that background, who do stand by their Muslim constituents. And Tim Walz historically has done that, both in terms of defending Keith Ellison, both in terms of defending Ilhan Omar, both in terms of defending the Somali population in Minnesota. So, and pairing that up with his background as a teacher who did teach his students about genocide.
He did, yeah.
About how certain types of genocide are not even covered in the same severity. Like this is not like normal from a person that I would ever see at the top of a ticket. You know what I mean? As a vice presidential candidate.
That's true.
So it makes me feel like there is an inherent contradiction there, and I don't know how he could be the same person who did all of this stuff in his past, who simultaneously is now staying silent.
Yeah, he's effectively been silent other than those nice words on Super Tuesday. And yeah, we're talking about someone who is clearly white, state champion football coach, high school teacher, proud of working in the lunchroom. And yeah, he has stood with our
and he stood
those that are oppressed, and all the communities you name that we have a very diverse, vibrant immigrant and refugee population in Minnesota. And he has stood up in support of that, in his career leading up to getting elected to Congress and as a governor, and now he's silent. And that is very disappointing, and it's certainly not the way to win in November, and it's certainly not the way to keep this one Minnesota that he ran on as governor in 2018 going, and to keep the progress and the celebrating that we're seeing from our 2023 legislative session. So it's shocking, it's concerning, it's time to change on this. One thing about our governor and the vice presidential nominee that we've seen is that he's been willing to evolve, he's been willing to dig in and listen on, for example, the issue of guns, and he's been talking about that quite a bit. He had an A rating from the NRA, and then he was challenged, and he moved on that issue.
Yeah.
So he's shown his ability to evolve, and he really has to evolve in like an hour so that we can get a speaker up on stage. And hopefully he's doing that, and if so, it's time to be public. He needs to evolve quickly. We don't have much time today with what's left of the DNC and what kind of message is going to be sent to our Muslim and our Arab and our community in Minnesota, let alone nationally. Now it's national stage, Governor. Let's go.
I agree. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your work. Nice to meet you.
We have a Palestinian American committed delegate.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Alaikum salam. Would you mind holding this when you speak?
Sure.
It's a mic.
Sure, okay.
Make sure the top part is facing you. All right, so tell the chat who you are and what you're doing here. You can look at me, you can look at the camera, it's all good. We're freestyling. It's not that serious. It's not like there's only like 40,000 people watching. Don't worry.
You're right, great. Thanks a lot. Okay, my name is Sabrina Arata. I'm an uncommitted delegate from Washington State. And I'm here to advocate for my people. I'm Palestinian American, and so I'm here to amplify the voices of Gaza.
So, have you been participating in the demonstration so far?
So we have been sitting here since 8:30 last night. I have not slept since then. So But you know, it's the least we can do. We want to make sure that there is enough room for us in the Democratic Party, that Palestinian voices are represented, and that we really hold true to what our voters sent us here to do and create space for Palestinians.
Okay, perfect. Were you one of the people that wanted to speak, potentially?
No.
No?
Absolutely not.
You wouldn't do it?
I wouldn't do it.
What
no.
would you say if you got up there?
I wouldn't do it because I'm gonna tell you why I wouldn't do it. There are so many more qualified Palestinians and also Palestinians who have gone to Gaza and served there in the last 10 months that I think the world needs to hear from. It's not about us as individuals. It's about amplifying the voices from Gaza and what's happening there. So it's not about me, but whatever I can do in this movement to like get to that mission, that's what I'm here to do.
Okay. Do you think the Democratic Party is going to be responsive to the very reasonable demands you guys are making out here
This is
today?
the worst boss to get. No.
I think it would be a grave mistake not to. I think that I'm holding out hope that they will see us and they'll hear us and they'll allow space for Palestinian voices in the party.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you. Thank you for your time.
What's up?
44 damage.
What's up?
Yeah, how's it going?
What's going on, brother?
Another uncommitted delegate.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, all right, perfect.
Right away,
No, it's all good. Here you go. Tell the people who you are. What do you do?
We should be okay though.
He's.
What did you say about me?
She's saying you're also single and ready to mingle.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
I can't play anymore.
Yo, I'm uncommitted and I'm good with it. All right.
He's uncommitted on
This boss
everything.
fucking sucks.
uncommitted
Yeah,
on
it does.
everything except
It does,
yeah,
but hopefully
yeah.
we've got a fairy in a bottle. We
Yeah.
should be okay.
Yeah, it's live, by the way.
This is live? All
Oh
right.
yeah.
What's up?
Oh damn.
Okay.
She just
All right.
aired you out like that. That's crazy.
That's about right. I mean the DNC isn't meeting our demands. Let's get something here, okay?
Should have played you first.
All right. So where are you uncommitted from?
You want me camera or you?
No, you just talk to the camera. It's fine.
Oh damn.
I'm,
Okay.
My name is Yas Kader.
We're
I'm
alive.
an uncommitted delegate from the state of Washington.
Hell yeah. What do you do?
I'm actually a registered nurse. I worked for 9 years out of level 1 trauma. I got my master's degree and now I work in healthcare regulatory data. Isn't that fun?
That sounds awesome.
Dude, it is boring. Yeah.
That's also you're Palestinian American.
I'm Palestinian American.
Typical.
Born
It's
in
just, every Palestinian American I've ever met is like engineer,
healthcare,
doctor, healthcare.
You know
what's up? What's up with Palestinians? Why do they study so much?
So you know what we need to do though? We need to get Palestinians
68
in politics,
damage.
right?
I agree.
Because of stuff like this, like Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, we need to get somebody in there to
52
help
and
her
2
out.
vulnerable.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like she can't be in there alone. Next time Netanyahu's in there, she can't be sitting in there alone. We gotta get somebody in there to help
I
her
agree.
out.
Absolutely.
Okay.
How did that make you feel when Netanyahu got a standing ovation from the entirety of the Republican Party and like half the Democratic Party as a Palestinian American?
Where the
Dude,
fuck?
I mean, first of all, him being there,
Are my Persians,
like
bro?
a foreign government's leader who is committing a genocide.
Yeah.
Being invited.
International war criminal, by the way, like a recognized war criminal at this point, but we don't abide by the Rome Statute.
So it's absolutely crazy. You know what hurt me is actually like that thought.
Okay, we
that I
should just
didn't
make
like
it.
that
No, but it's gonna
her as
come
a
back. Oh no,
Palestinian,
it's
she
not
was
even
there
awakened
alone.
yet. Oh no,
That's
I'm
what
cooked.
actually hurt me is that she was sitting there alone, and I think with everything that's been going on, we Palestinians, like you just talked to Sabrine. I got my brother Rami here. Where's Layla? We got Abbas. So like, go for it.
Anadolu Ajansı. You see this? The Turks. Bu Türkler hep böyle.
Yeah, so we just can't let her be alone. We gotta figure that out, and that's what hurt me the most. Obviously, the symbolic just nature of him being there is stupid and
These
quite
two,
honestly
okay.
kind of shitty. But her being alone is what bugged me.
Okay, let me ask you this: as a Palestinian, look, I'm Turkish. I grew up in Turkey. So I've always had a very different analysis of Israel than I guess my American counterparts now.
GG.
Like I had a very different attitude about it, despite the fact that Turkey also is a vestige of American imperialism. It's a NATO nation and also is a funder and facilitator of Israel in different meaningful ways, but we won't get into that right now.
We go again.
I feel like I've been an outspoken advocate for Palestinian emancipation for 10 years in my professional media career.
After this game.
And I have never seen such support in the Western world until this last year.
Nope, you can no longer rest at rest
I feel
sites.
like in the midst of all of this chaos, in the midst of all this death and destruction, in the Western world, there has been an active movement for the first time ever that recognizes the humanity of Palestinians. And I was wondering, as a Palestinian, like, do you also see it? Does that make you feel at least a little bit more hopeful when things seem so hopeless?
I think that if you had asked me this question yesterday at this time, it would have been a lot more hopeful. Because the uncommitted delegates here, like the Palestinians, we're outnumbered, right? We have Pakistani, we have definitely American, we have Jewish allies. And so it's been wonderful seeing people come together saying, yo, we don't want to support this anymore, it's not good. But the issue is actually in here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We have 4,500 delegates. Guess what, dude? All of them, they see me wearing keffiyeh, they say, hey, brother, we love what you're doing. We like that you believe. Oh, sorry.
No worries.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Yeah. We like what you're doing, and we support how you're doing it. Even right? People just say we support how you're doing it,
but they don't come out here.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes
All
they
talk.
do. They come and mingle, and that's okay. Look, dude, I've said this. This is not a 1 or 2 situation. This is 1 and 2. You can support Harris and support a ceasefire, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is support for a ceasefire and show that it matters for Harris. That's how she's gonna win. And so I have actually, over the last 3 days, I had a lot of hope talking to the delegates. But yesterday, the Democratic National Convention said they would not allow a Palestinian speaker. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. They go from 4 o'clock to like 10:30 at night, and they said they don't have 5 minutes for a Palestinian
They put a fucking
speaker.
border patrol guy up there, bro. They put a fucking border patrol guy up there. They put fucking Trump supporters up there.
Somebody was telling me the Uber CEO of Uber.
Yeah, they had like I think the Amex guy up there to talk about being a fucking billionaire. It's like, I mean, it's ridiculous.
And you know, yesterday they had the family of an Israeli hostage go up there and speak, and you know, listening to them speak, listening to their suffering, it's important for us to listen so that we can empathize with one another. I don't know what the uncommitted folks or anybody else would think about it, but I honestly think the best way to have handled this is to bring both families up there together, really show the unity. You know, I still kind of want to hold out hope that some sort of common sense will come through so that we can get what we want. We want. I know the people want to hear from a Palestinian in there.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It is. I mean, I was a little shocked seeing like how many people even in the bubble, because this is not representative of, ironically enough, it's not representative of like the broad majority of Democratic Party voters even. Yeah, I feel like when you're in there, it's a different world.
Yeah, it is very interesting. I mean, over 80% want a permanent ceasefire, over 60% want to, like, at the end of the day, people, they don't want to pay to kill babies, right? We shouldn't
100%.
be making bombs, sending them to Israel so that they can kill Palestinian babies. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something? All right, you're a brown guy. Like, stuff like this, like seeing this, like our country support Israel to this level, like, do you feel a little bit unsafe? Like, just a little bit, because I personally, like, knowing that there's probably 200,000 dead Palestinians supported by this country, like, I personally feel a little bit unsafe in this country now.
There was a moment, I'll tell you this much. There was a moment when, ironically enough, things have changed dramatically now, but Dr. Oz was going up against John Fetterman.
Right.
Mehmet Oz.
Yeah.
And he was the Republican.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, John Fetterman is a fucking goon and a sociopath, but, and, you know, that's what happens, I guess. He got hit with the stroke gun.
No.
That makes you pro-Israel.
Yeah.
More pro-Israel. He was already pro-Israel.
Yeah, he lost to Palestine.
Yeah. But basically, that moment for me, I was like, that's a Sunni Muslim dude on the Republican side of the ticket in fucking Pennsylvania. Like, what happened to the post 9/11 like Islamophobia? Like, did it completely go away in this country? And for a moment, I was like, I think it's gone. Like, I think it's like a different era.
Yeah.
And then, you know, post October 7, I was like, oh no, it never went away. It was like people put that shit back on so quick.
Yeah.
And it
Dr.
definitely
Oz did heart
sucks
surgery
because,
on your
like, look,
grandmother?
you said
Oh
I'm
my
a brown
God,
guy.
that's
Like,
insane.
I'm a very white passing dude.
That's so
and I say I'm
funny.
white all the time. Like, I am white, you know. And for me,
That's hilarious, bro.
unless I'm at the TSA, you know, that's different. But for me, I have a lot of privilege in the intersectionality. On the aspect of intersectionality, I have a lot of privilege. I'm tall, white dude, fucking, you know, I'm cis, I'm heterosexual.
Yeah.
And I try to always like use that juxtaposition to advocate for social justice for marginalized people. This is the one issue where people immediately write you off, though.
Yeah.
Like, you're Muslim, you're Turkish, you're Islamist fundamentalist, you want to throw gays off the roofs, by dudes who literally do want that. You know what I mean? Oftentimes on the other side, it's like dudes who are right-wing reactionary monsters.
Right.
Who are homophobic, who do want to kill gay people and trans people, being like, got them. You just love, you're this, you're that, and they just write you off. There's no like seeing your humanity. Like there's no reasoning with you in that regard. It's one of the only instances where I feel that.
It was
So
successful,
I
but
guess
she
on that
died
front,
to lung
I do
cancer?
get it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily feel unsafe, but I can understand why you would feel unsafe. I mean, holy shit,
She
you
died
have
doing what she loved. Okay.
both parties being like, we're gonna melt your family. It doesn't fucking matter to us. And October 7, Hamas. October 7, Hamas, over and over again.
I appreciate that, right? Because at the very least you acknowledge that, and Vice President Harris, you could at least acknowledge it, right? Right? It's just like, you know, there's such a disconnect between what the Democratic base wants and like what the elected wants, and all they have to do is listen. Like that's all they have to do is just listen, acknowledge, and then do the right thing.
I think they're just straight up like riding the momentum of like Kamala Harris and like the ticket swap and like everyone's excited about it, and I mean this was something that I called for originally as well. I said I would never vote for Joe Biden, no matter what. Like,
so what about Kamala now?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'll vote for Kamala Harris because I mean I'm waiting to find out what her background looks like, what her actual policy positions are going to look like. We're just reading the tea leaves at this point. We don't have any way of understanding exactly what she stands for.
Yeah.
And I say this as someone who covered her pretty closely in 2019. And back then it was like her track record in the Senate was obviously very progressive, but that didn't mean anything because it was under a Trump administration.
Right.
Where she knew she couldn't get anything done anyway, and many Democrats routinely vote for like really progressive stuff.
So like for you, how far like up on that scale for her would be like because Israel policy? Because
I'm not the average voter.
Right.
So it doesn't like I understand that.
Yeah.
I try to understand where the average voter is coming from when I talk about these sorts of things, and I know that it's not high on the totem pole for them. Like I don't think it's like it's not an equation unless it gets back in their face. So I think like this kind of stuff is important because this kind of pressure is really important. Students are going back to college. If the encampments start coming back, police are probably going to crack down on that. That's going to come back into the forefront. That is going to be something that Kamala Harris has to address, that she has to carry everywhere with her. So I'm a massive advocate for what you guys are doing here. I'm a massive advocate for obviously the protests. Like it's I see a lot of people saying, you know, all right, cut it out, guys. Come on. Like, what are you doing? Like Trump is going to be so much worse. It's like, that's the same equation with Joe Biden too.
Yeah.
Like that was the same exact thing in terms of like American foreign policy.
Yeah.
Something that we're paying for with our tax dollars.
Yeah.
It's just so. I mean, it's a partisan W, tackling it from like the perspective of partisanship and being like, this is the Republican issue. They're crazy on it. We want to heal America. We want to fix America. We want to fix the potholes. We want to give you health care. We want to give you education, free education. We are not interested in unlimited genocide dollars. We're going to take that money and we're going to use it on ourselves. Like that is such an easy narrative to just put out there.
Dude, she could do it like you're saying. We're going to find out probably more tonight where her policies are. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's
But we're finding out right now if they don't let a single Palestinian American speak, I think that's pretty indicative of where they stand in terms of like, we'll say.
I mean, I want to see the Palestinians speak for 5 minutes, so yeah. You're just an agitator over there.
Yeah.
You want to hop in here? No? Put you in?
Anyway,
I don't know about you. Where did Cora Bush? Wait.
Yeah, she's
Thank
over
you
there.
for the prime. Holy moly.
Hey, nice to meet you, my man.
Very nice to meet you. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate
I
that.
appreciate what
Thank
you
you
do.
for the prime.
Of course.
I like this.
Yeah, but not a good one.
Okay, can I say salam alaikum to you?
Yeah, alaikum salam. Can I say salam alaikum to you? Yes. Here you go. This is supposed to face you.
Okay.
You can put it on you if you want. You can hold it up.
I don't know
I think
how
we
to put it
heal.
on.
It's a magnet
Just take
on the
the
back.
heel. Because then we can smith.
Okay, I'm just gonna hold it. I'm just gonna hold it.
Okay. So who are you? What are you doing out here? Tell the camera.
Yeah, my name is Asma Muhammad, and I am the co-chair of the Minnesota delegation of uncommitted delegates to the DNC. And I ran the Minnesota campaign.
You guys did a phenomenal job.
We literally used $5,000 of the $20,000 we raised and got 46,000 votes in 8 days.
Wow.
That's insane.
8 days.
That's insane. Do you feel like the
Wow.
media snubbed you guys a little bit? Like they didn't. Like, do you think that there was adequate coverage?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah, they.
Okay.
They
I was
were-
very mad. I didn't think they
Really?
covered it enough.
I mean, maybe, but I felt like they were like constantly harassing me to find
yeah,
out
you're
more.
close to it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I was getting calls constantly.
Yeah, from a watcher perspective, I'm a news
Yeah.
watcher.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I'm
know?
sure you have a different perspective.
I felt as though they were just like it was a they kind of covered it. They're like, yeah, these guys are uncommitted. All right, move on.
I hear you.
Frustrating. No, I'm good, thank you.
It's only like a day old.
No, I'm good.
It's
thank
not
you.
a day; it's half a day.
Okay, it's still good though.
Yeah.
The pizza is still. Oh, it's the racist pizza too.
The racist pizza?
It's
There's
Papa John's.
Oh, they're Zionists.
Wait, are they?
Yes. No, they're Zionists. They are.
It's fine. There's Palestinians here. It's a shield.
True. And
I
they're
didn't
eating
even
it.
know that. I just thought,
They are. They are.
Big
They're
Papa
actually-
is just like he's
no,
just.
they're like horrible. They're
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What
Well, like, big
American
corporation isn't.
is not horrible?
Yeah.
Really.
True.
But okay. You said you disagree. Why do you disagree with what I said earlier? If they don't allow a Palestinian American to speak up there, it's like I think a pretty big message.
I mean, no, I think it is a big message, but I also think that there still is. I'm a hopeful person and I'm pragmatic, and I still think I'm trying to remember that my community, our community, has the most to lose with the Trump presidency. I'm a Muslim woman who has faced hate crimes under the Trump presidency.
Yeah.
And simultaneously, absolutely, I want to see a Palestinian American speaker on stage. But what I think is really their loss is that a majority of Democrats support us in this.
Yeah.
A majority of Democrats support a ceasefire and arms embargo. So it's not the Democratic the people. It's not the Democrats that are against it. It's the party leadership.
Yeah.
So I think that's who we need to hold accountable. Not I think the party, the people of the party. By and large, I've been
never
getting
had
like
Papa
hundreds
John's,
of
so I
messages
wouldn't know.
today
Yeah.
of people saying like, "Oh, around the world." My friend Khalid in Gaza sent me a message today thanking me for what we're doing.
Yeah, no,
Which is
they're
incredible.
they're locked in. They watch this stuff pretty
Yeah,
closely.
like Gaza is watching right now as we sat in. We slept on the pavement tonight, and it was hard. And the thing that I couldn't help but think about is that people in Gaza have been sleeping in tents for 300 plus days. My friend
Yeah.
Khalid has been displaced 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh God.
No, I feel you. I mean, you're right. So you're holding out hope. Is it because you think I'm gonna switch pace here? I'm gonna go back to being kind of funny.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Is it because you think Tim Walz is a secret Somali?
He has never eaten a sambusa in front of me.
Uh huh.
He doesn't know how to say Barashuanaksan, which means nice to meet you in
What- how do you
Somali.
say it?
Barashuanaksan?
Barashuanaksan?
Yeah,
Okay.
that means nice to meet you in Somali. I don't think he knows those things. So
He doesn't know. So he's not a secret Somali.
He's
So
not.
Joe Rogan lied.
Joe Rogan lied.
Joe Rogan lied to me.
So unfortunate. It's
I saw
so unfortunate.
as soon as listen. For me, it's like it doesn't take much. If I see a white guy go to a CARE meeting, I'm like,
Secret Somali.
That's a yeah. He's
Tim
with
Walz
us.
didn't go to a CARE meeting.
He did a long time ago.
Oh, he probably spoke at a press conference.
Yeah.
Not a CARE meeting.
No. Well, not a CARE meeting, but like.
I'm from Minnesota, sir.
But he did attend like like he went to.
He
No?
came to a CARE Islamophobia conference, and
Okay,
spoke
that's
against Islamophobia at the conference.
Okay, but that's like still.
No, it's not a meeting.
It's not enough.
It's not a meeting.
It's not enough.
It's not a meeting.
Okay,
No,
no, it's fair. You're right. You're right.
no,
You're
no,
right.
no.
You're right. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. You should get in there.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize what time
should
is
go.
it is.
You should go. Thank you.
Yeah. Now that you own me, I'm leaving.
You're a much taller in person, so you got that.
Thank you. Thank you so
One
much.
minute. I don't really like this because like
We
it
gotta
can
go.
backfire very quickly.
Sure.
Glad you're here.
Nice to meet you, man. Thank you. Thank you for everything you guys
You know what?
do.
We'll take it.
Hell yeah. All right. I'm gonna give it to. Yeah, sure. Let's do
I'm
it.
not fraud.
Hello.
Hey, fine. How are you?
I'm a big fan.
Oh, I'm a fan of yours.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Do you mind holding this? This is a mic, and I gotta take a photo with her.
Yeah.
Or actually,
Oh
no,
my
we'll do it
God,
afterwards. We'll do it
let's
afterwards. Thank you so much for being here, Corey. How are you doing?
I'm all right. It's bittersweet.
Yeah.
You know, it's a historic moment, but hopefully it's historic in the way where we can see a great change and momentum for everyone, where we can all join in and be proud.
Yeah.
Oh,
How do
Corey is
you feel
amazing.
about obviously APAC backed big donors that played a significant role in your primary race?
It's absolutely disgusting. You know, it's disgusting. It was deceptive. And, you know, the thing is, when you can't run on truth, when you have to run on $1 million lies, that speaks to who you actually are. And this is not about one organization either. This is about a system that allows for this, you know, so whether it's APAC or the NRA, you know, whether it's the cryptocurrency people, whoever. So for me, we have to do the work to fight this system. We have to fight this system because what happened in my race was primarily Republican MAGA donors decided who was the Democratic nominee for this seat. And the people of St. Louis deserve better.
Absolutely. You're a fighter for your people. These people out here, the uncommitted delegates, also did something that you've done as well in the past. They stayed out here and they slept outside to hopefully get the Democratic Party to listen to them. You were successful in making Congress, I think, extend the
yes, absolutely, eviction moratorium.
The eviction moratorium. After, for those of you who don't know, Corey stood outside of Congress
Trump,
and
But fair enough. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is this. Because then, if we apply this, then you've got your thing. Oh. No.
I go home, and they love going home.
Yeah.
They love going on vacation, and worked tirelessly.
Hold on.
And protested outside of Congress to ensure that the eviction moratorium was halted or extended.
Yes, it was extended. We were out there for four nights and 5 days, and actually, Hassan.
Hold on. No free clout.